Let me just kind of dive right in. I have words from Donna here, and it will explain why you are seeing my face and hearing my voice almost immediately. My name is Chitananda. I'm a poet, and I've been hosting Tiferet spiritual writing workshops for a couple of years now. Tiferet's founder and publisher Donna Bearstein apologizes for not being with us today and asked me to read her planned introduction. She is fine, but she has had a loss close to her heart and needed to be in attendance to that. So, without further ado, here are her words. Welcome to all of our poets and listeners. We're delighted to offer another Tiferet live Zoom reading today. Often during the hour and a half Donna spends each week with these and other poets during the spiritual poetry group gatherings, she wants the words she hears to be shared more widely. We're giving you a sample of all these wonderful words today. First, though, a bit about Tiferet Journal. As many of you know, Donna started publishing this interfaith literary journal back in 2004, after spending a few years as a founding poetry editor at Bellevue Literary Review. Bellevue Literary Review positioned itself at the nexus between the body and literature, and Donna decided we needed a magazine at the nexus between spirit and literature. Donna naively forgot that she would launch this project without NYU's funding or staff. But a group of people came together, notably Walter Cummings, Diane Bonavist, and Adele Kenny, among others, to birth this mixed breed baby into the world. And here we are, 21 years later, gathering as a community. We offered print issues for many years. Now we offer digital issues packed with poetry, prose, interviews, and reviews, many of which I'm sure you have all enjoyed. In March 2020, Donna wondered how she might be of help in the strange new world of the pandemic. She thought of poetry that helped her through hard times and launched both a Wednesday and Thursday afternoon writing class. Some of the poets you will hear today have been in those groups for all 5 years. We've welcomed poets from India and Wales, New Zealand, Jerusalem, the Bronx, and LA. We've expanded our offerings to Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays and offered one in-person retreat and several virtual retreats. Our next virtual treat, in case you are interested, will be May 31st. You can find out more about our virtual and in-person offerings at tiferetjournal.com. You're here today to listen to poetry. So before we begin, let me just say a few more of Donna's words. Since March 2020, she has been amazed on a weekly basis at the words that have come from the gathered poets. Each class, she shares 3 poems by writers of different eras and different faiths, along with a pertinent, deep-reaching prompt. The poets have 10 minutes to write in response to each of these poems. There are experienced poets in the group and newbies. Because of the special chemistry of the group, every single poet feels comfortable enough to write what is in their heart and to share it. So, both Donna and I believe you are in for a treat today. Each poet will read a single poem following the order listed on the flyer. You'll find that in the chat if you don't have it handy. You will also find bios for the individual poets attached to that flyer. A few quick technical things. It's really helpful if you're not the one reading to please stay muted, especially if you're going to use the chat, because we can all hear the clicking of the keys as people type. The other thing is you can choose how you want to listen in terms of how you see. If you want to go to gallery view, you'll see everybody that can fit on your screen. If you go to speaker view up in the right corner with the 3 little dots, speaker view will give you the person reading as the largest image. So without further words, from me or Donna, let's begin with our first poet. And as each poet finishes, I'll pop back in to call the next poet so you don't have to pay super close attention. Susan Jackson, would you lead us off, please?
I would love to. It's an honor to be here with all my fellow compatriots and hear new ones, and to be part of the Tiferet community. So the poem I'm going to read is called Geography of the Possible. The cathedral of lost death built, the leaded glass of its dark windows blew down in yesterday's wind, making way for a small prairie. Such is the infallible nature of nature, to bring joy when you need it most. I saw the miracle of hummingbird wings, those minute motorized mechanisms lifting its body to the nectar tucked inside the body of flowers. I watched the yellow eye on an ebony bird blink as the bird leaned its invisible ear to the ground, listening for movement below the earth. The bird knelt its way to sustenance, the way some take a communion wafer in their cupped hands and raise the host to their mouths. There are lessons abundantly offered every day out here when I let this land become an inner land, a whole geography of the possible opening inside me. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. And Tamar, if I mispronounce anybody's name when I call on them, please just correct it when you come on.
Thank you, Siddhananda. Can you hear me? Okay. The name of the poem I'm going to read is You Are Christ's Hands, after a poem that were given as a prompt by Teresa of Avila. Christ's hands worked healing miracles a few kilometers from here. Miracles we could use now. Healing, feeding the poor, accepting all humans, all based in ancient Jewish tenets. Who could imagine how history would twist and turn? Christ was born a few kilometers from here, where a well-armed roadblock now welcomes your crossing over. Jesus would not have liked the weapons. I almost gave birth to my 30-year-old son during an intifada at a Muslim wedding. Me, probably the only Jew at the subdued celebration, but that is a whole other poem. But I think Christ would have seen the humor in a Jewish woman's water breaking at a Muslim wedding in Bethlehem. Christ, I imagine, must have had a good sense of humor to live in this harsh part of the world.
Thank you, Tamar. Marina Latolaki, would you please read next? I can't see. Is Marina here today? We're not hearing you yet if you're present. Okay, Marina, if you're here, we're having tech issues and I'm not finding your name. So if you are here, please send me a text and we'll put you back in later. Barbara Kirchhoff, will you read next, please? Barb, would you read next, please? Can you hear? Or do you?
Go.
There we go.
The mute button was being covered. Okay, can you hear me okay? All right. The wedding. The contract says to start at this time. I begin even though no guests have arrived. Am I playing for no one? I am here. I am being nourished by the vibrations of my instrument. She, having been fashioned from once living trees, is happy to be singing again. Many creatures live in this beautiful center, resting under pews, hiding in corners, eking out an existence inside vents. I am playing for them too. I feel them listening. Now the humans are entering, wedging themselves in between the growing multitudes of seen and unseen beings, gathering to take a break from their routines. Nature and music are in love with each other. All notes arise, gliding to and fro on invisible waves, connecting everyone and everything to the primordial source of sound. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you. Norma Bernstock, would you please read next?
Yes. It's nice to be here with this wonderful group of poets. The poem I'm reading is called Walking in Winter. There are days when I need to walk, though I resist. It's the task of dressing, lacing up boots, the search for a warm hat and gloves. But I love the clean air and the wonder from leaf rustle. Is it a squirrel, chipmunk, fox? There's the creek gurgling under ice, giant boulders among fallen trees, the way I conjure faces in the dark stains embedded in the gravel sections of road. On some days, it's the sweat and deep breaths from a fast-paced walk, or maybe those strangers who wave from a car, a family exploring and sharing this unremarkable, but really remarkable place where I live. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Ruth Kirschner. Ruth, are you with us? Let's see.
I'm here. I was muted. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Perfect.
Lovely to be here. The prompt for the poem was write about what heaven, love, or dreams brought. Last night, a dream delivered me a map. I've always failed in real life at direction. Maps make no sense. I left them long ago. But last night's map was green and blue, a topo map of a coastline up north near a mountain range with a string of lakes like pearls, calling me, waiting, and such an invitation to where I can go if I wake up. In my dream, I was with a man I love who's dead. I've always wanted to go there, he said, but he was so weak after being dead after all. I knew the hikes would be too much and the lakes too wide, even in his little boat. I didn't want to leave him there, imagining our next adventure, but I longed to swim across those lakes and knew I could and would, and now I am.
Thank you, Ruth. I am noticing people are putting lines that, move them in the chat. So if you're curious, you can go back and see what's been written, if anything, about your poem. Kathleen O'Toole, would you read next, please?
Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
This poem, I've only been participating recently, and this may have come, I believe, from my first gathering with you all. It's nice to see so many familiar faces, and I believe it was in response to a Robert Bly poem. Shards. The blossom in me, the silence, the still small murmur of a brook beneath winter's ice. Scribble of crabgrass, stiltweed, legible in sidewalk cracks. A candle in some dark sanctuary lit before an icon. Mother of tenderness, Jesus Pantocreator, Spiritus descending. This mystery, where or when a divine shard shows up. First cry of a newborn, warm blankets for the unhoused, clustered on a frigid sidewalk. That catch-all prayer, uttered for those who have no one to pray for them. The surprise of a friendship rekindled across the chasm of years. Comfort of a lover's hand in the night. First ripe fig on the transplant presumed dead beneath the winter's deep freeze. Our grandson's giddy laughter that cracks us up after months of absence. First purple shoot of hyacinth in March, its scent. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Deborah Garish, would you please read next for us?
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here and good to see you and hear you read. Thank you, Ananda. The prompt that I'm reading, that I wrote my poem from, is The Gift of the Poet from Rilke's poem, For Your Sake, Poets Sequester Themselves. The secret. Searching for something, the house keys, an earring, a post-it, a pen. The chestnut-sided warbler in the willow, the wood thrush twang, the disappearing tail of the red fox in the woods. I'm the teeny ant at the window, climbing to what I think is sky. At the beach, I seek sunlight inside the granite clouds. The needlefish, the sheephead, the bait thief. I study the wind, invisible, and even just today, from here at my desk, I'm on the dock, still searching a portal for something in the secret of the sea.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. I think Marina Ladaraki is back with us. Are you ready to read, Marina?
Yes, I'm sorry about that. It's actually 6:15 a.m. here in New Zealand. Okay, my poem. From a poet, after Pablo Neruda. To whomever has a shattered heart, I recommend plucking the snail, leaving its silvery trail on the concrete footpath, slick from the rain, placing it in the flower bed and wishing it well. Reading a child a bedtime story filled with starry skies and magical boats that take them to faraway places where there are only tears of joy. Walking through a forest and listening to the lyrics and the susurrating of the leaves, and writing them down to craft poems that make your heart sing. Waiting patiently for the wild animals to make their presence known. They are as curious about you as you are of them. Watching a herd of cows, we can learn a lot from the humble cow. Their lives are not so different from ours. They love as we do and are loved.
Thank you, Marina, and I'm glad you were able to join us. We will move on. Thank you, Luis Matarazzo, for being patient while I moved Marina in, and we can hear from you now, please.
Thank you. I wish in the times when we were together, we had spent more time picking daffodils in meadows of hope, spent more time seeking the dawn of a new spring without lamenting or sadness and the weight of our aloneness. I wish for you to come to my house, where the kettle is singing, where I will be waiting for you. Then all the mountains and hills, the fields of clover and daffodils will burst into song and clap their hands. For the world is endowed with splendor, and this is the time for forgiveness. I hope it's not too late.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you. Susie Wellahan, would you please read next?
Happily, thank you. This is in response to Chidananda's request that we address our muse with the word you. Dear muse, you are an early riser. Often wake before the dawn, bestow on me the word I sought for hours late last night. You like to make connections, see how pain, love, pine trees, chocolate, politics, tears, Springsteen, healing all relate. You take me to some places I would rather leave behind. You take my hand that holds the pen and do not leave. As I walk those childhood hallways, find the bottles, hear the battles, write my story, my survival. Here we are. You have helped me to remember, to recover, to move forward, to hold tightly, to let go, to become me. Writing what I need to write, sharing what I want to share, honoring all that went before and that shall be. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. Claudia Redder, would you please take the mic?
Thank you. This is such a lovely occasion. I've been working with the word ongoingness, and this poem is called We Are Full of Going. To eat, to shop for food, to care for our pets, to stop at a crosswalk before parking at Bakery Square. The cashier in Target said when I complimented her pink shirt, adding, "Thank you for being colorful. Pittsburgh is very gray." She said, "Wait, look at this," and picked up her magenta jacket tucked behind the counter and grinned. Then we went on with our day, she to her cash register and me to write down this anecdote so that the story is part of my memory of a good day. The day a river makes it to the ocean and doesn't stop there, but keeps on into the deeps. Perhaps magenta will light up the water, or a glowing sun warm the waves, or the horizon get larger, the more we see and hope for the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you. Pamela Gottfried.
Oh no. Up until 10 seconds ago, I wasn't sure what I was going to read. Shepherd's Lament after Rumi. The muse is making a ruckus, but my flock's bleating is louder, more insistent. They demand to be heard, diverting my attention to their cries. I have no choice but to abandon my book of David's poetry, pile it atop crumpled pages of sermon notes, scribbled and strewn across my desk at 2 a.m. The words are wholly unintelligible at daybreak, even after I French press a second cup. Straining to hear the muse, instead, I spend the early hours answering email. I tend to the flock, attempt to soothe their souls with electronic whispers. You are enough. You are okay. You are loved by the source of love from above. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. We're going to hear from Molly Howe. Howe's next. Please.
Thank you, Chitananda. Can you hear me? What makes me admire the ant who toils so steadily and carries such a load, a giant crumb or morsel, who walks in line with others and keeps it up through threats and across barriers. It's not only her discipline that entrances me, makes me trace her path with envious eyes, nor is it the unthinkingness of the commitment. What I can't help loving is her undeniable belonging, her being part of a team. I don't feel the same about spiders, although I do admire their work, both gorgeous and mortally effective. Somehow, stretching those glossy threads from bush to branch has a solitary soundlessness to it, something like loneliness. Me, I long to belong, to be on a team, to work alongside my fellows and friends, to sigh with satisfied fatigue, to try again tomorrow together. I'm best when I sweat and worry about work that matters, to be engaged for the long haul, to take small steps in a large effort. Let me share your load when you are tired. Let me lean on you when I must rest or weep or question before I continue. Presumably, the ant doesn't measure his value in terms of his own efforts, doesn't compare his strength with other ants and want recognition for success as if he created the conditions for it alone. In my country, we reward spiders. Some of us capture our own food and thrive because of it. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose, except my web-slinging prowess isn't a sign of my value or my virtue. Some of my sisters can't do it, although they have to eat too. The webs we build here tend not to be interdependent, not one for all and all for one, not Ubuntu, not he ain't heavy, he's my brother, not injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, not my liberation is bound up with yours. I suspect the worker ant doesn't empathize with others or crack wise like I do, probably doesn't recognize or chat with nearby ants. I don't desire to be interchangeable, one part of a uniformed army, but I do love to be a piece of the puzzle, a voice in the choir, a student, a healer, a demonstrator with a sign who finds company marching, arms linked, sharing the road toward a fairer place. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Ruth Chad, please read next for us. Ruth, you are still muted. Would you please let us hear you?
I'm sorry. All right, is that better?
Yes, we can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me now?
Yes, we've got it. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm so honored to be here. All these wonderful writers. Thank you. This is called Poem for My Mother, Cocochino National Forest, Arizona. Dizzy at the edge of mountains, red rocks mimic the sunrise, ochre wildflowers all over the meadow floor. If you were here, it would burn for you. Juniper berries scatter lavender light over a scarlet path before this lava sculpted underworld of sandstone and limestone. If you were here, the stones would glow, dizzy at the edge of mountains.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. Deborah Leipziger, please read.
Thank you. It's wonderful to hear all these gorgeous poems. Tell me, what are you most afraid of? Tell me, and I will give you shade. Yes, I know of the many ways to die: heat, thirst, flood, lightning. Why fear growing old? I have witnessed your life. There are so many ways to live. Remember, you grow rich in many currencies: light, generosity, energy, kindness. Protect me, and I will provide cover, connected as we are by need and nearness. I will cover the frozen ground with my leaves and weave my branches of color over your darkness. Come, rest with me.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Alexander Levering Kern, would you please read? Are you here with us? Let's see.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Hello. I just pulled over to the side of the road. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Are you in a
Okay.
position to read? It'd be very
Uh,
welcome.
I think so. Yes, thank you.
Great.
So this one is this one's for Donna, who we love, and yeah, it's called Wednesday Afternoons with Donna and the Spiritual Poetry Crew, and it actually quotes two poems. One from Bill Ratner. His words are "Quiet Silver Afternoons," and from the amazing poet Susan Jackson. And I'm not gonna publish this poem until maybe ever, but I was struck by Susan's image in our session, the wren flown away as free things always do, and then to find a solace within. So those lines are quoting my friends, and then I reference the wonderful Raquel Solomon as well in the poem. So, okay, Wednesday Afternoons with Donna and the Spiritual Poetry Crew. How good and sweet it is to dwell in unity with a circle of poets, sprawled across the continents in rooms no longer lonely. How good it is to hear them speak of quiet silver afternoons, when the brown St. Gabriels stand and stare, and imagine him there, Bill, my bearded brother, in the presence of mountains I've never seen, but love, yes, love, because he does, and yes, because they simply are. How good it is to hear my friend Susan in her sunlit home, somewhere, I imagine, overlooking a marsh, and to hear her sing of the wren flown away, as free things always do. Only then will she name my aspiration, our aspiration, to find a solace within. How good to be in the presence of poets, dear Sister Raquel in the city of New York, telling uproarious stories of a childhood I never knew, yet know so well. What greater gift than the laughter and the recognition that we're so much more than our stories and words, but mirrors and shamans of the divine, whose oil pours down and gladdens our smiles, rejoicing at every U-turn of phrase, weeping at every hidden grief, summoning us back to the fields to play.
Thank you, Alexander. What a lovely tribute to our community, weaving so many of the poets that you share time with on a weekly basis into this piece. Thank you for sharing it. Perfect for the theme we shared today. Colette Sell, would you please read next?
Yes, hello, and thank you, Alex, for expressing what all of us feel about our community. Sometimes I feel like we're warming ourselves together around a campfire when we gather for our workshop. This is called Ghost Story. I've been looking at photos of ancestors, writing their names on the backsides. For whom? I don't know, but isn't it worth saying those names now? Conjuring not just faces, bicycles, work boots, but calling up whatever they had, however they walked in the hard times. Their ghost eyes watch, count on us to find the courage they left for us in the dresser, under the flowered hankies and the dog tags of their war. What greatness shall we make of that, digging as we must through mementos of resolve? I wonder what vows I can make now to justify their lives and mine.
Thank you, Colette. Gail Kaplan, would you please read next?
Sure. Hello to everybody that I know and those that I know in spirit. A New Life is the title of my poem. Look over there, see the flowers begin to bloom. They are still surrounded by the gloom of the ones who long ago lost their blossoms. I feel the wind blowing harshly, reminding me of changing nature. I see the space where there once was snow and celebrate the end of the icy roads and sidewalks. I made a choice to follow my own path, different from my friends' paths, different from the path my family taught me. They don't even know what I am doing. They don't even want to understand. It is a spiritual road I am on. They aren't. At times it is difficult for me to understand what I am doing. I could never explain it to them. I feel alone without all of them. I'd rather be alone than around people who don't want to see me. I want to find people who are moving in a similar direction, who understand. The choice to do this has brought me my heart. It has shown me my soul. It has made me stop the constant criticism of myself. At times, I am afraid to let go into this new world. The difference is profound. My eyes are closed now, and I live in the hope of the love this new life will bring.
Thank you, Gail.
Thanks.
Margot Fuchs-Nill, would you please join us at the mic next?
Thank you. It's good to be here with everybody. It's just amazing to listen to the poems of each of you. And the prompt we were given is, how have I been not happy enough? And I read the poem. How have I been not happy enough? Let me ask the other way around. Have I ever been happy enough? Have I praised enough health, the pain-free times, the lightness of humor, the dance with being for its own sake? Have I said enough times, thank you, my beloved life, that you hold on to me day for day? Can you forgive me? Can I forgive myself to be forgetful about my good intentions? How can I go on knowing it will never be enough? And nevertheless, I do have faith into mercy that not enough can be good enough. Aren't we on the way, on this stony, crazy, beautiful path, approaching, always approaching the next? Thank you.
Thank you, Margot. Gail Bayok.
Thank you. I love being in this group. These are two parts. First part is last year's mountain fire. Bare branches, charred trunks. A massive oak wraps its roots tightly around another's underground tendrils. An elm nearby, a friend, accepts the oak's request for help. Other trees join for community survival, not just for each. Their shade shelters growth below. Their spirits prepare for next spring. Then the second, this year's City of Angels fire. My Palisades home burns along with all the others. Wild winds tossed red-hot flames, become glowing shooting stars. They spark waving palm fronds, oily eucalyptus, dry roots, children's playgrounds in the parks. Everything in the path is consumed. Survival depends on running away for those with feet. Others are lost in flames. 7,000 structures fixed, their feet in cement. Houses for living, houses for worship, banks, pharmacies, schools, stop signs, gone. An entire community lost in a day. Once a Methodist Chautauqua, a place to meditate and share life's joyous surprises. Everyone is fleeing to somewhere else. Children lose their classmates, doctors lose their patients. Everyone loses their friends. We journey alone, but prize memories of ourselves as one, like the forest.
Thank you, Gail, for honoring that
Thank
moment,
you.
that experience. Yeah, tender. Barbara Rockman, please.
Hi. I'm so glad to be here. This group has been such a comfort to me, and I'm so inspired by everybody's poems today. It's like this moment of peace. I'm grateful. The poem I'm going to read is called Silt and Bone. Not buried, my parents glide among lakeweed, rattle with incoming tide. Their bone bits rub against the dock ladder, pocked with rust, rough with corrosion. They seed this life for a next. Caught by tree roots that reach shore to sandy bottom, overseen by mallard and geese, dragonflies skim above. Jewish custom is not to burn a body, but coffin and place dry rocks upon a headstone. As tradition would not have it, my parents drift and settle. Particulate, they animate the cold, clear lake they loved with no hope to reincarnate. But company they keep, trout, pondweed, turtle, eels, is congregation. And lake bottom that shifts, shrinks, and heaves is belief. Let them be sediment, continuance, and underwater song. May deer lap edges of their forever, and grandchildren swim among.
Thank you, Barbara. Melissa Reed.
Hello, Ananda. Thank you. All right. Really love traveling around the world with you, hearing all these different voices and poems. Goodness, what a flourishing community. I'd like to read a poem that was requested by an artist. Anima et Animus, Alexander Agafonov paints and sculpts Ukraine's soul. Part 1. You enter your life to bring to life the mystery miracle play you dream, shape, and reshape. You cross borders on unfledged wings, balancing with gravity on stilts, feeling the world atilt with quantum carnival leaps. You explore painting's capacity to evoke sublime spirit and sculpting's capacity to evoke Pan's ridiculous reclining, balancing and fluting on the back of a wild running boar. All this fettered, unfettered play with balance because you had learned to fall. First from an apple tree, landing at Hannah the healer's feet, that so-called witch whose candle in her forest cottage window promised unbidden to Manos, where your carnival dreams thrived in Pan's otherworldly time to unfurl flying from your hand an angel balancing on her invisible trapeze while holding her candle to infuse day's light with a glowing promise to deliver sky's heaven. You return her winged waves with your brush waves, unburdening Kiev's spirit from protected informing, feral dogs, Chernobyl. Your silent music shifts too, releasing Sophia Mary, the civil disobedient of her time, balancing feminine spirit, undarkened by shadow, rising from new inner light. Her eyes touched by the Mona Lisas, her smile a sign of Shakespeare's Tatiana. No, the path of true love never did run smooth. And from her accepted lily drops Kiev's new Byzantium. And that's the end of part one. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. So I have the privilege of reading next. I too cherish this community and I love listening to all the things that get created by the amazing voices and people who create this community. And for that, I'm terribly grateful to Donna because she has been, envisioning in flow, and it has just happened that this community exists as she responds to her own inner callings. So it's a beautiful thing. This is called Learning to Bow. How would I greet the Buddha if I came upon the path where he sits? Why do I assume he sits? The stories must have exaggerated. Those long years, stationary, anchored to the ground. Wouldn't he need to void? How would I greet the Buddha if I came upon the path where he sits? Would I stumble over my words, lay nervous laughter at his feet, go numb, silent? Would I even recognize his glory shining under the banyan tree, branches extending all directions, wider than the moon, deeper than the sea, in the vibrance of his sun? I wonder what my inner world would reveal sitting in humid sky, blowing smoke over the mirror. Would I even see the light in his eyes, or just the glowing facade of luminous clouds irradiated above his head? If I can learn to bow to the quiet, gentle man I call my husband, if I can learn to bow to the industrious, organized woman I call my child's teacher, if I can learn to bow to those who throw daggers at my soft flesh, then I would know how to bow at the feet of the Buddha each time I saw one. And Lynn, would you please anchor us for the reading part today?
Well, I'm good at holding up the bottom, so here we go. Thank you all. It's really such a gift to be with you and hear your voices. You're all extraordinary poets. This is called Full Moon Gathering. Pardon me. The cormorants have come crisping their wet wings in the sun. They've claimed a timber drifting in the water. Clear is this autumnal air, the sky a deepening shade of blue, sunset a golden path to moonrise on the water. This full moon tide, smattered with sea crows, teeming with creation, pushes up the banks of the bay. The sands echo light. A circle of women, we sit at the water's edge around a driftwood pyre. Side by side, wing to wing, each meets the shore of the other. Calm and centered, deeply breathing, we hold silence together. A cicada strums his cadence song to every listening creature. At first, his presence seems an intrusion, but then becomes my breath's metronome. We gather dew, we gather frost, we light our seawood fire to warm the coming cold. Lavender blue flames lift aromatic ribbons of smoke to the milky eye of heaven. In reverence to the beauty and grace of this timeless trinity of moon, sand, and sea, our leader begins a wordless drone, and with palms and fingers beats her drum. Someone plucks the metal prongs of a gourd. Others wrap wooden boxes and ring gongs. I tilt a water stick end to end, its flowing pebbles an exquisite song. Sounds like these empty the mind, fill the body, float us as one. With the last dissolving chord, we stretch our voices to the unseen, trusting they are listening. Gaia, Shekinah, Mother Mary, and the names of women who've nurtured us ebb and flow. We live a continuum of their fierce and gentle light. Our spirits barks of all that's holy under heaven in a circle unbroken.
So every poem today has been just absolutely gorgeous. And I really want to honor all of you for creating this experience of an amazing hour, listening to each other's heart and creativity and spirit pour onto the page. I think Donna may be listening. I'm not sure. It depends on what's going on in the background for her. But either way, I am confident that she will be blown away when she sits down and listens to the entire thing in one sitting. And I'm very, very honored to share community with all of you. Thank you so much for your time on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.